From WFRV TV Local 5, your local election headquarters, this is Newsmaker Sunday with your host, Tom Zalaski.
Good morning and welcome to Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Marinette Davison, filling in for Tom Zalaski. This week, we focus on the Pfas contamination issue in Marinette County. Pfas is a chemical found in a number of different manufactured products, including firefighting foam. Testing of land located at the Tyco Fire Technology Center has shown Pfas in the soil and groundwater at that site and other properties. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources and the Environmental Protection Agency have been called in to discover the extent of the contamination and to organize a cleanup operation. Now, the Wisconsin DNR has held a series of public meetings to inform the people living near the contamination sites about the steps being taken. Last week, Attorney General Josh Kaul attended 2 of the meetings and heard from the community on their concerns. Local 5's Erin Taylor has the story.
The Charming Creek that's in front of our house has like 3,700 parts per trillion of PFAS.
In Marinette and surrounding areas, residents are coming to terms with PFAS.
More and more people starting to understand just what a serious problem this is in our community.
Over the past year, the DNR has hosted several of these listening sessions, giving residents a chance to air their concerns.
They also find out information relevant to their individual situation. Their contaminated well, their contaminated property.
At Wednesday's listening session, Attorney General Josh Kaul also listened in. His involvement comes after the Department of Natural Resources referred Johnson Controls and Tyco, the company responsible for the PFAS contamination, to the Department of Justice.
We allege that they had failed to notify the state of the contamination out there and make good progress.
The company says they have taken steps to remedy the situation by providing bottled water to residents with infected wells and creating 2 surface water treatment systems. They've also floated the idea of a municipal water line between Marinette and Peshtigo that would serve affected residences.
That water line would be a municipal water line to deliver clean, safe, and reliable drinking water by the end of 2020.
But concerned residents say that isn't enough.
That's an important part of this because there are many wells in the town of Peshtigo that are contaminated, but that's not the only problem.
The issue started with Johnson Controls, formerly known as Tyco. What officials say we don't know is the full scope of this area's problem with PFAS.
Well, it's kind of an unusual situation because it's many sites. So we've got the Fire Technology Center, we've got the manufacturing facilities at 1 and 2 Stanton Street. We have concerns about the biosolid spreading fields.
Johnson Controls officials say they plan to continue to take action.
Number 1 priority is to ensure that there is clean, safe, and reliable drinking water for the residents affected.
But some impacted by PFAS say the damage has been done.
These are forever chemicals. They just don't go away.
In Marinette, Erin Taylor, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Erin. And to begin our conversation, we welcome Jeff Lamont and Cindy Boyle with the concerned citizens group known as Save Our H2O. And thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Jeff, we're going to start with you. How serious is the PFAS problem in Marinette County?
It's, according to Attorney Robert Billett, it's one of 3 epicenters in the United States with problems. North Carolina, 3M in Minneapolis, and Marinette.
And I'm going to have to ask you, Robert Billett, who is that?
Robert Billett is the attorney that sued DuPont in West Virginia and has written a book, Exposure, and a movie that's just been released, Dark Waters, that explains his 20-year battle with DuPont on finding justice for the people in that area.
Cindy, the chemical is known to cause adverse health effects. That's what all the concern is about. Thyroid disease, low birth weights, cancer. Can you tell us more about these very real health dangers?
And I think, Erin, that's the most important part, right? When you first learn that the area your home is in and the area you raised your family in has a water contamination crisis, your immediate thought is health. What could possibly be impacting our children? What could be impacting my spouse and I, and the community at large? And then you start to do more research, and it becomes even more unsettling because, to your point, it's everything from testicular cancer to thyroid disease to liver disease, kidney disease, and the list just goes on, and you start thinking about your extended family, your neighbors who've suffered from these illnesses, and then you find out that Johnson Controls knew 3 years, I believe, before they ever reported it, and it makes you worry all that much more.
Very troubling. What are you hearing from people impacted in the area?
Concern, anger, angst. This is a very complicated site, and there's so many moving pieces that it's hard to stay educated about it. And so there's just a lot of very concerned people, like Cindy said, about their families and particularly their children.
Now, the company known as Tyco, we heard from them a little bit. Now Johnson Controls, they operated a fire technology center, a facility used to test firefighting foam, and PFAS were in that foam since the 60s. How difficult will it be to remove this chemical?
I'll let Jeff speak to that because he has the expertise.
Extremely difficult. We've had some success treating groundwater with carbon, granulated activated carbon. It tends to treat the 8-chain carbon molecules, some of the earlier predecessors to the carbon 6-chain carbons they're using now. So there's a lot of newer technology that's being tested currently, but just given the size of the site and the area that's contaminated, it's going to be an extremely difficult area to remediate.
And Cindy, the company is providing bottled water. They talked about that pipeline, plans for a water pipeline. Are these efforts enough?
I don't think that they're enough. I mean, to me, that goes without saying, right? If you contaminate everybody's drinking water, the very, very least you should be expected to do is to give them secure, clean water that we have confidence in forever, not just temporary. Getting bottled water is not very comforting. I think it's common knowledge what some of the concerns could be around that. So we're working toward that resolution. It's a very, very slow process, but I have a concern because me personally, we're talking to more and more neighbors in our area, and these contaminants are showing up outside of the designated plume area, right? The source of the contamination has not been contained whatsoever, so there's over 400,000 parts per trillion. That's a very, very tiny way of measuring that, but that's a huge number. And at the source, that's still coming down. There's nothing holding it back. So for 3 years before it was reported, that was coming down to us. For the last 2 years that we've been battling with this, that's been coming down to us, and we don't have any idea how long that's going to continue before it's contained. So no, it's not even close to enough, not to mention all of the anxiety and stress and worry that it puts on a community as a whole, what it does to the community's economic prospects as far as property value, and the damage that it does to that. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Jeff, you have an idea of the chemical, the scientific aspect of this. Is this a problem that can be contained?
It can be, but it will be very expensive to contain. Johnson Controls has put aside $140 million to address this issue, and that isn't even taking into consideration the investigations that need to take place on the biosolids that have high concentrations of the PFAS on over 3,500 acres in the county of Marinette.
And the biosolids, you're talking about the land that's contaminated, not just the water.
Correct.
Thank you, Jeff and Cindy, and we'll continue our conversation when we come back. Stay with us.